What's up, everybody, and welcome to the No BS Real Estate Show, a podcast that gives you an inside look on how to make smart financial decisions while adding value to your life. I'm Matty Miller with ERA Real Estate, alongside my co-host and real estate investor extraordinaire, Ryan Robbins. Whether you're a long-time investor or a first-time buyer, join us as we dig through the everyday bullshit of real estate. Miller, and it is not Friday, but it is a bullshit day. What's going on, man?
Just in the nick of time. I just hit that record button.
Oh, so we're recording. Yeah. Well, Ryan actually called me this morning, so he's the host, so he gets to runs the back office shit show that often it becomes. So anyway, yeah, we didn't get a chance on Friday to meet up. We're both in the middle of what I like to call hell month. Or these 2 months in the month of real estate, the June and July, just frantic craziness that goes on in these 2 months.
I was gonna say hell month. You were talking about that last week. You're looking forward to the cool down. I'm like, just getting rolling here.
We're just getting rolling. I know. I'm looking forward to the cool down in like late September, maybe October. It's like I got 2.5 more months of this just craziness, but got to make the money while the money's good, right?
What you got to do. So yeah. I'm not complaining. So anybody that was thinking about adding to Matt's workload, feel free to jump on my boat and we'll sail here.
I'm not complaining. I'm, what's the proper term here? Venting, if you will. Or just saying, hey, guess what? It is stressful. People get upset and you have to deal with people's crap all the time. But that's what we do. So, and we do it with a very, a smile on our faces, and we act like everything's okay.
Hey, everything is okay.
Like it's like my lender that I use. She was at a company, and this is the way real estate professionals and lenders, and this is the way we operate. And this is a good story. So we had about 4 deals going with her. Apparently, the old company she was at, which will be renamed nameless, started with the G and ended with ILD. But anyway. So remain nameless, right? She is like, we got like every deal that I had with her for about 3 months, like went up to the wire, like everything, like we couldn't get answers on stuff. Like, hey, why is this not like, most of the time, if you can get it done, if it's not a complicated deal, we're 7, 8, 9, 10 days ahead of the game. Hey, we can close whenever. We just got to get this one payoff or whatever the situation may be. No, all these went up to like the day of or the day before, like of closing. Like we got them done, but it was stressful. Well, come to find out, and she doesn't really tell me this, and I'm like keep asking her questions like, what's going on? Like, why are these taking so long? Why are we not getting clear to close until, a day before closing day? Like, what's the situation? So finally, after the last loan closes that I had active with her, at the time, we obviously had a bunch of the pipeline, but she'll take those over to her new place because she left and went to a new place. And that apparently was going really well. Moral of the story is they had 9 people quit in approximately 35 days.
Wow.
So it just blew
That's no
up.
joke.
Like,
that's huge.
Kaboom. Like 4 processors, a couple LOs, all their support staff just gone. Like they had multiple people touching the deals. Like nobody knew what was going on. Like it was a shit show. And it just was like, finally she like broke down and told me that this was all going on. And I was like, that makes sense. 'Cause I know it's not her because I've done deals with her for years. And I know it's not her. And I was like, what is going on? So she finally just broke down and she was like, yeah, this place is a fucking mess. And I'm like, okay, well, go somewhere else. So she is currently over at a new place, which will remain nameless as well. So no one can pin her, which is interesting. So yeah, so there's that.
Well, I've got an interesting one for you.
What's been going on in the world of Ryan?
And we chatted about this one a little bit last week, but I've got an investor that's in from Israel.
Ah, yes.
He went to a RIA meeting, which is essentially a real estate investment group.
It's Jackson Real Estate Investment Association.
Correct. Right. Linked up with a wholesaler that was there. Went
Lovely.
Out and
my favorite topic.
Went out and showed him a property and that he was interested in. So the following day, him and I had a meeting to get together and go look at some other properties. And while we're out driving around, he's like, hey, if you don't mind, do you mind coming to look at the one that this wholesaler showed me? I really want your opinion. Absolutely. Can you call him and set it up? We'll go over there and check it out.
Yeah, no problem. Let's go check it out, right?
So drive over. The guy meets us there, but he didn't have as you know, we've got essentially Bluetooth on our phone that we use an app. It unlocks, again, a big lockbox. That's how we access the key to get in the door. He didn't have that. So I did that. We open up the door. Like, all right, as an agent here in this market, if you don't have that iBox access or super iBox, you're pretty much not going to be able to get into any properties. Go inside, look around, so on and so forth. Now, this was on the road. I hadn't done any research prior to getting there. So we're chatting after he wants to make an offer. So I go just to start doing some due diligence, and I pull it up. And the property that we went to look at with the quote unquote wholesaler, whoever, is under contract with a brokerage in town that happens to be this quote unquote wholesaler that's wholesaling it to my buyer that's in from Israel. So I start to do some digging and I end up calling up the broker. And
I was with you when you did this.
Yeah. So
I wanted to hear this conversation.
Yeah. So they put it under contract at a significantly lower price. They then put it on their website while it's under contract at a higher price.
Third-party website, not the MLS.
Correct, not the MLS. That's their own, that they're, again, shooting to people outside of Jacksonville.
Correct.
And this wasn't an expensive house. It was listed at, what the heck was it listed at? $75,000, if I'm not mistaken.
74, 73, somewhere in there.
So they were offering 3% commission. So again, just on 75, you're talking, it's not a lot of money. You're talking $2,200, is what you would have made. Now they've obviously talked this guy way down, and now they've marked it back up. So now they're, what would have been a $2,000 commission is probably closer to a $6,000 to $8,000 commission, I would say. I don't know. I don't know the true numbers, but that's the spread I'm guessing they're trying to shoot for. And when I call this broker out, he basically says, well, that's just how we do business. So I had said to him, look, as licensed agents, as licensed broker, we're supposed to have our client's best interest in mind. I don't mind. I will gladly give you my buyer if you give him the property at the price you're under contract for. Because to me, that seems fair.
They had it listed on their website at $66,900.
Yep.
So they probably picked that thing up for,
I'm guessing, in the high 50s,
high to mid 50s, maybe. And that's where it gets weird. And like I said, we've talked about the wholesaling situation until we, get blue in the face. But my issue with that is you're a licensed real estate broker and you're supposed to be serving the public, and wholesaling is not illegal. You're right. It's not. It's very shady. Okay. And it's very confusing on how you advertise things when you do it, because
I don't want to cut you off there, but as we talk about shady.
Yeah.
I think I had shown you this, or maybe I didn't, but they send over the contract. So I'm like, hey, all right. The buyer that I had was like, you know what? I understand the situation. I just want, I don't care if they're making a few $1,000s extra. If it's a deal to me, it's a deal. Okay. We made them an offer. They send over a contract. So now it's an assignment of contract. It's not an official purchase and sale agreement that we're used to seeing. There's no inspection period. There's a $4,000 non-refundable deposit on a now about $60,000 contract, which I'm like, no inspection, and a $4,000 non-refundable deposit. No. Then, not only that, the contract's not in the brokerage's name, which obviously has the property under contract. It's in a different LLC. So, you know me, I start doing my digging into Sunbiz. That LLC happens to be owned by the guy that owns the brokerage, and it's based out of Orlando. All right, whatever. Here's the kicker. To wire the funds, you would think we're doing a real estate transaction. This is closing like any other transaction. It's going to close with a title company, right? We're going to send our deposit into escrow at a title company. No. The wiring instructions directly to their business's LLC, right into their own personal business account.
Huh.
I was like,
that's
no fucking way.
No.
In their right mind would wire you directly $4,000 non-refundable.
That was the $4,000 non-refundable deposit
to his personal business account, the broker's. Now, is that legal? There's no freaking way that can be legal.
No, not a chance.
So
not a chance. Well, it has to be held in escrow. It has to be legally.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know. It's non-refundable. I don't know.
It
certainly sounds legal as shit.
Yeah.
We'd have to get somebody on that would really, really know real estate law. Maybe I got a guy that might want to come on and discuss this. That we need to get him on here, actually, to be honest with you, because it would be a great episode if we were to tell him stuff like this. My buddy Mark, who's an attorney, he does a lot of real estate law, and that would be be interesting. That would not only that, it would also probably be more of a wreck issue.
There's got to be all sorts of
there has to be
issues with what's going on there.
Craziness. I think my favorite part about this particular company that we're referring to is on their website they break down all the costs for everything. And I think my favorite part is they estimate the taxes, they estimate the property insurance, they estimate the rehab projection at $9,000. Well, I've seen that house. And there's no way in hell that it's a $9,000 rehab unless you're getting – I don't even know what person you can get for $9,000 to do all the shit that he needs.
Well, so then you're just looking at the house. Guess what? That's not disclosed on their website that I've found out. It's got a septic system. Not only that, it's got one of the old school 2 systems. So it's got 2 tanks and 2 drain fields. So
one for what? Washer dryer connection, and one for
so one for gray water, which is gonna be your washer dryer
and
your kitchen sink and dishwasher, and then one for your toilets and tubs. So
and that's not
septic systems. They say $9,000. I mean, you could spend more than that alone on the septic, and that's
you can spend $15,000 on those 2 septic tanks.
Well, you're going to take out 2. You're going to probably go back with one bigger system at this point.
Well, correct. You go back with one bigger system. Yeah.
That's going to eat up your $9,000 budget in a snap.
Yeah. So
crazy.
Again, it's not illegal. It's shady. This situation sounds like there's definitely some illegal activity going on, and they're certainly not looking out for the best interest of their client, which was the seller originally.
This is the shit that is bullshit, but pisses me off to my freaking core is the fact that you targeted the guy that was here for 2 days, went to the local meetup to network and to meet people and so on and so forth. And that's the guy. And they've called me every single day since then. Like, what's going on? What's going on with the contract? What's going on here? And I'm just like, no. I'm going to kind of kicking the can down the line to see what happens. So the flip side of that is I called the listing agent directly at this point. And I'm like, hey, by the way, so-and-so is under contract with you, but you realize that they're trying to assign your contractor? It's like, what? They're doing what? I was like, yeah, they're saying they're going to buy it from you, but trying to sell it to.
They're not going to buy it from you.
He's got no idea. So listing agent.
On top of that, the $4,000 non-refundable So if they don't sell it and it falls apart, they're still getting $4,000. How awful is that?
Yeah. And the seller isn't getting it at all. It's this middle guy that's under contract right now. It's a mess. It's
terrible.
It's screwy.
Terrible.
But that's out there. And it just comes down to don't fall into that trap. If you guys think you're getting swindled by somebody, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. So
moral of the story, we've said this over and over again. There are really bad people in every business, whether it's real estate, selling cars, mortgages, Wall Street, NFL GMs, anything I can think of. Okay. There are bad people that don't know what they're doing, that want to take advantage of people and do what they do. And this goes back. These are the same people that are basically doing like housing scams, in my opinion. Like they're still criminals. Like it's just a matter of what level and how they appear. So
100%.
We talked about it obviously on, what was that, Thursday or Friday? We were in the office and we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, now I did not know all the LLC stuff and where the wires were going and all that stuff. Cause
that probably came up after. That was probably sometime Friday or Saturday when they had sent all that over once we'd kind of said, all right, hey, well, look, we're going to move forward and make an offer. And then it was like, do all this. And it was like, this is getting worse.
Cause that's where it gets really weird. Yeah. That's where it gets really, really bad. So, that's awful. Well, I think that's it for today. We got to jump off and get on another call here, and then we'll be back to probably deliver a long form episode here in a little bit. But this episode will publish on Friday, July 5th. We're pre-recording just because of the holiday weekend here. Got some craziness going on. Not that we're trying to lie to you or deceive you in any type of way. We don't do that. Okay, we're honest with our people.
That ain't us.
We're no BS. We're gonna tell you like it is. End of story. So yeah, we'll get this posted up, man. I will catch back with you here in a little bit, and we'll continue to go on this holiday week. We got 2.5 days to fit in 5 days of work. And even if the 2.5, that might be stretching it. So I am going to a meeting tomorrow morning and then playing golf and then taking Thursday off and then maybe working a little bit on Friday.
This guy.
So I know. Hey, listen, I haven't played golf in like 2 months, so suck it. Okay. And I got a golf trip coming up, so I gotta play a little bit so I don't look like such an ass when I get out there.
Practicing. All right. Well, so happy 4th, everybody. We will chat with you next week.
Sounds good.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, there's a few things I'd like you to do. Subscribe, leave a review, and head over to NoBSRealEstatePodcast.com where you can connect with Matt and I on all of the platforms we're on. Also, if you could do us a favor, leave a message letting us know what you enjoyed about the episode and what you'd like to hear about going forward.
Publish this bitch.